Welcome back to another video of Random Talks with Chuck and Chris. And today we have Jake. And we're just going to call him Jake the Ref because that's what I always yelled at him and he was always mad at me. What's up, Jake? How you, buddy?
Good, man. How are you guys?
Chris is doing pretty good right now. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
I I stayed at, Dr. Pepper Zero. So
Just stayed with the soda.
you know,
Stayed with the soda.
oh, cramping. Yeah, that makes sense. You're out fishing today.
I was trying to target the old crappie. Didn't get any crappie. I got a bass, but better than nothing. Didn't get skunked. So
Do you do everything clean? Cook, you catch release, you cooking.
I do a mix of both. Just kind of depends what I'm in the mood for. I mean, I catch crappie to eat them. That's
Yeah.
mainly why. Bass fishing's more leisure, obviously. Then again, I mean, I leisure fish a lot, so I guess it just kind of depends what I'm in the mood for. If I got to fill the freezer or not, and stuff. So,
So you could send some food down here if you want, just freeze it.
yeah,
We're down in
chase.
Destin spring break and we went to oh, what's that big store? Bass Pro. We're at a Bass Pro down there. And the kids that were with my sister before I got there bought an RC car. And I was like, you know what? It'd be really cool if we had an RC boat. So we went to Bass Pro. And they had a RC fishing boat that actually has a line that hangs off of it, and it has a hook, and you basically drive it out and let it sit. When something catches it, you hit it and try to go. Um,
That's awesome.
Not made for open water. I lost the hook, but no,
Oh,
but it was fun in the pool. But no, it's more for pond. But I hope they bring it back with them. Maybe we can. We'll have to. You can catch like fish regular, and I'll be out there with my RC boat. Carrying them all to you. That's what. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. It's like a fish drive, right? But the wrong kind. What have you been up to, Jay?
just work. Wrestling's at the tail. Well, it's been over for me for a few weeks. I haven't done any off season or nothing in the spring. My grandfather passed away, so I couldn't do Virginia Beach this year. So yeah, appreciate it. But yeah, I plan on I'll do some off season stuff probably this summer, preseason, whatnot. But I'm kind of taking a break from the wrestling and getting back to real life a little bit. So
Football's coming soon.
it is. Be
We
here
got
sooner
we
than
got
that.
rule changes for football.
I haven't heard of the rule changes yet. We'll hear probably, I'd say about June, July is usually when they come out. So, um, I will say I liked when they changed the intentional grounding rule a couple of years ago. That was,
What's changed about it?
so before, um, you know how if you were, you're in the pocket and you just threw the ball away, it was intentional grounding. Now you have to be in the pocket. Now you can't be outside of the pocket and just throw it away. But if you're in the pocket or in the tackle box, the free blocking zone, that's what the high school what they call it, you can throw it away. So which it's that way in college. They might as well change it in high school. So I always thought it was dumb that it was that way in high school for the longest time. So
Yeah, then you got teams like that probably hard on a back judge or like is that what they're called? I don't know. Like is that or is it like the head refs behind the quarterback, right?
the head referees behind the quarterback. So that's hard on the referee and the line guys, like the
Yeah.
line judge and the head
What if
linesman.
but what if they're running like unbalanced? All
Yeah,
right. Where's the tackle?
exactly.
Where's the tackle box at? Yeah, because
Yeah,
both tackles are on the other side.
yeah,
So
exactly.
a big box.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the other thing, so I don't know how many schools throw the ball down you guys' direction these days, but like everybody at my way is throwing the ball a lot more. So, I mean, Northern Indiana, that's what everybody's running the spread and stuff now. So, I mean, with the exception of if like Caston, they still run the wing tee. Pioneer still runs the wing tee. Lewis Cast still runs the wing tee.
Yeah, we got a
So
lot of beer options, stuff like that. But South Vermillion last year, um, our quarterback was in top 10 for passing yards or
yeah,
something.
yeah, I saw that on Hoosier Prep Gridiron that he
Yeah.
was up
Oh,
there.
North Vermillion. Yeah, he had an arm on him. Uh,
Yeah,
so like he would flick, he'd do like Brett Favre flick the ball out,
yeah,
take
that's sweet.
you know. So
And South Vermillion's what? Are you guys 2A or 3A in football right
two
now?
to
You guys are two. I say Caston, we're single A. So, but we're like one of the smallest football playing schools in the entire state, believe it or
yeah.
not. So,
Do you do any like was it 8 man? I know we got 8 men now in Indiana. I didn't know if you did any of
uh,
like
oh yeah. I've done a little bit, but not a lot. So like I got back on a full-time crew a couple years ago. Well, several years back, and then this will be the first year that I haven't been on a crew ever in a long time because my crew disbanded at the end of last year. So, of
they're like
course, I was doing a lot of 11 man and stuff. Do what?
I said they probably said screw Jake, we're out of here. Um,
No, three out of the five of us are retiring. That's what it is. I was the young pup of the crew, so
yeah, I mean, but I've seen videos, you know, your woman posting videos you out there, and um, you know, it's fun to see how you've matured from when I first met you on the mat, not as a person,
yeah,
but mature, but like how you go, how your body language is now on the mat, and all that. Like it's really fun to see,
yeah,
man. So,
yeah. Thank you.
but
Yeah, I've definitely come a long way and worked along. I've worked really hard to get where I'm at, but still the work in progress as always, and I'm always working to perfect the craft and get better at it. I mean, that's the goal. So, you
listen,
know,
have I don't have a lot. We don't have a lot of traction by any means, like 56 followers. But I'm gonna share the crap out of this video on Facebook and everything, and you know all that. Here's your chance to you know maybe sell why to ref.
why to ref? Why to ref? That's a loaded question, but like I can sort of share my story of how I got involved with it, right? So, um, we're gonna backtrack. You know, it's I'm coming up on my 10 year, so I'll be hitting 10 years this coming season. And how it got started for me is, you know, I knew I wasn't gonna take it super far as being a college athlete or whatever. And even if I was, you know, hey, what am I doing after that? I'm not gonna be a professional. I'm not gonna be an Olympic wrestler. I'm not gonna be a professional football player or a track star or nothing like that. So I was approached actually about officiating when I got out of high school by Larry Doan, who he's a wrestling official in my town. He's actually retiring at the end of next year, so my 10th year, he's getting out, so that'll be cool. I'll probably get to work with him once or twice. Maybe I'll get to work his last match with him. I hope I get to. But Larry approached me about officiating, and I was like, I don't know. I don't, know a whole lot about it. I know you guys get yelled at a lot and stuff, but that's about it. And Larry's like, he goes, it's a really fun way to stay involved in the sport if you don't have time to coach. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, you got to think these coaches have all this time commitment. They spend all this time with the kids at practices, meets, extracurricular stuff, in off season, if you're really in it, he said, as an official, you work on your own time on what you're available to do. If that's 7 events a season, then it's 7 events a season. If you want to work a chock full schedule and do some off season events, in terms of wrestling, that is, you can do that as well. So for me, it was just, it always fit in the schedule better. I didn't think I'd get super involved with it like I did. I always thought I was going to be, a varsity head wrestling coach. That was always like my goal to stay involved, and that never happened. And now I have no intention
Not
of
yet.
really coaching.
Not yet. Yep.
Yeah, never say never. I know. I mean, so I'm still young, but how it's been for me right now, I mean, it's just always worked out great for myself. I never thought I would get this in it like I did. Um, but I mean, I didn't get good at it overnight either. I mean, it took a lot of work, dedication on my end. I mean, that's a lot of one thing like people don't understand about this business, if you want to call it a business, is there's a lot of preparation that comes into officiating. I mean, there's a ton of preparation that comes into it. And I think that's why it translated over for me so well. Being as dedicated of an athlete as I was, it kind of fills that void for me. Except now I'm wearing a striped shirt and I'm working to perfect my craft in that versus the technique on the mat or whatnot. So this is kind of long winded, but that fills the void for me. You know, as
I mean,
strange as it may sound.
not yell at officials. I ain't take offense to that. I don't believe in it. I'm a nice
Sometimes.
guy. In my defense, technically, I'm not allowed to yell at the official. So that's not you. I'm not yelling towards in their general
Yeah,
direction. I don't.
in
I
the
do not
general
yell at them.
direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't yell at me.
I, think
Um,
I about got teed up at 1A 2A state. So
what'd you say?
well, the official, he's a good official. We had a girl wrestling a girl that I think the girl maybe made the state. I can't remember. It's hard to keep track, but our girl didn't. I don't think she made out sectional. Catches
Mm-hmm.
this Peterson. She keeps her feet in bounds, but he all he did was raise his arm for control, I guess.
Yeah,
Points. And time's running out, and I'm like, it's a Peterson. I'm just screaming, it's a Peterson. Where's our points? Like I'm like, what are we doing? And then after he's like, it all happened. I'm like, it was like 20 seconds. I'm freaking out because I'm like, I know she has control. You know what I mean? And but it was
right, right,
I'm like, don't do that to me. I'm over here dying.
right.
I'm like halfway on the mat, like, that's a Peterson. He had it in his head, but he never did. He never gave us a reversal. He never.
Yeah, right, right. But
So
I don't know. Sometimes they go to hit them Petersons and they do, a quick roll through and then nothing really changed. So you don't want
yeah,
to give the points too fast
oh,
either, because then it makes you look
she got 6 points. But nothing was. I'm like, ah! And he finally gave us a point 6-5. Like she was down 5-0. With
right,
building suspense, man. I was like, and he kind of looked at me like, "Oh, got this, coach." I'm like, "You gotta let me." Aaron's trying to pull me back. I'm like, "Where's our points?" Like I've never been so pumped.
right,
Girls match
right.
too. I don't even coach the girls. I was just so pumped up. So it was like them girls. It's fun that I coach them.
Well, how about how they aligned the girls series this year? That was a little odd. So like you guys were going to semi-state at Rod, you guys were going to the same girls regional or same girls semi-state or whatever, or girls regional, I'm sorry, because it's sectional regional state now. As Caston was. Like South Vermilion was coming clear up to Rochester. I'm like looking
Yeah,
at the way the state sent everybody, I'm like, that's so strange.
everyone
But
had a night somewhere. It wasn't just drive in the morning. Some people were driving very far, and
yeah, I mean South Vermilion to Rochester, that was over 2 hours, wasn't it?
yeah, I mean, we've had to do that, right? Wrestling meets, but that was bad weather too. That was cut
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
Good
You're
way.
you're right. You're right in my backyard where Rochester is. So that's yeah, we're kind of in the north. We get a little more snow up our way. So
During school. Yeah. So
yeah.
school had school going on while there's a wrestling tournament going on in the gym.
Well, yeah, I got sent to Goshen, so I got sent way far north, and the snow was awful up there when I went up there. I was like, they couldn't have sent me to Rochester. I could drive 20 minutes, but no, I got to drive an hour and 20 up to Goshen.
We need to talk about this, people. Right? Send him closer. I got your back, dude. Nope.
Yeah,
That matters. But yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's not like that. Everybody from the IHSA is on here, but no, I don't really care who they send me. I mean, sometimes it's nice to get out of my area, where I feel like I see the same teams all the time. So
Yeah. So, all right. Coming back to that, what do you like? Say a kid wants to be an official. How does
yeah, how's he go about doing that? Is that what
yeah?
you asked me?
How a boy or girl going to be an official?
So, well, we have this really, really nice incentive going right now, and I always tell every young kid who's coming right out of high school about this, right? Uh, get set up with the free license program we have. So we have a program going, and this is every association in the state of Indiana. So this could be Wabash Valley, North Central, St. Joe. I mean, from South Bend to Evansville, every association has this because this is a statewide thing. Um, you can get with leadership in the association or just an official. Official can talk to leadership in the association. We can actually get you a free license paid for in full your first year. So wouldn't have to pay nothing out of your pocket. You just have to get the rule books, take the test, get registered, and you'd be set up with a mentor your first year as well with the free license. Um, it's basically like a scholarship incentive program we have going right now to get more young people doing this because, um, as you know, officials are at an all-time shortage. I People my age are not a dime a dozen. You do not see young guys my age doing this, and you sure as heck don't see a lot of seasoned guys my age doing this. So
So,
we're definitely.
oh, sorry, go finish what you say. Sorry.
I was just saying, I don't think it's critical yet, but we're getting on the bubble where if we don't start getting officials and more young people in this, with all the retiring folks, leaving. Uh, I don't say this to scare people, but I wouldn't want to see matches and football games and whatnot get canceled because we don't have enough officials to
Well,
cover.
well, we're seeing that. We're playing on Saturdays because officials are for football. And they're
Yeah,
you got something Friday, 4 counties over, then they're driving to Clinton to do South Familia versus whoever.
yeah,
Sometimes it's weather, but majority of the time, if we're playing on Saturday, it's because of officiating. So,
yeah, yeah.
what's like
Uh,
uh, what's like a typical pay? I know probably people probably get paid a little differently with experience.
it's not so much on experience. So like regular season is actually up to the school that
Okay,
you're going to. So it's whoever you're going to that is the host school. So like I'll throw in some schools, I'm not going to name drop a bunch, but like I'm going to,
that's the ones that
so
pay the
like
most.
I wasn't going to say, I was talking about schools up my way now where I'm at. But so like Peru's still paying 75 for a dual meet where Tippy Valley. So I'll say you can make anywhere 75 to $100 a dual meet, but it
Okay.
just depends on where you're going. It depends on the conference you work into. So like a lot of the Three Rivers Conference, which is like Mechanical, Rochester, Southwood, and all them, they pay 90, $100. Peru's still paying 75 for whatever reason, but it's fine. We don't always do this all for the money, but um,
Yes, no, I'm just kidding.
um,
With a
but
love, but
there's
passion.
but I always say upwards 75 to $100 a dual meet. Tournaments you can make 200, 300, sometimes $400, depending on where you go and what you're doing. I know like the HHC, which is the conference Brownsburg's in. I know they were paying almost $400 for their conference meet, but that's really high level wrestling too. I mean, you're talking Brownsburg, Zionsville,
Yeah.
Westfield, Avon. It's going to be a
You know about
grinder of the day.
this is our sectional.
Say what now? You cut out.
Yeah. Nice one.
You
You
still
hear me?
cut out. Yeah, you're cutting out.
You're cutting out. No, I was just saying Zionsville is in our sectional, so I know how good they are.
Yeah, very very well coached, very good team.
60 is down there with 2 and 3 A's. One A.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then so like the state series is a flat fee from the IHSA plus your mileage. So like wrestling sectionals you make like 150 or it's 160 now. They bumped it up $10 for the flat fee. Woo. Um yeah, no, don't spend all that in one place.
Yeah.
Um $160 plus your mileage. So I mean your travel will also dictate your pay a little bit. So like I didn't make a whole lot for my sectional this year because I drove to Plymouth, which is the closest site to my house. So I drove 35 minutes north to Plymouth for my sectional. I think I made out 180, 190. something like that. Um, I went to Fort Wayne Carroll for my regional, so I got paid well for that. And then I got to go to East Chicago for my boys' semi-state. So definitely made out with more money regional and semi-state, but there the drawback you got to travel too. So, but it's good extra money. I mean, you're not going to get rich doing this by any means. I always tell folks that, but it's good extra money. And being a college kid or a kid right out of high school, I mean, for what you're doing and the time commitment, that's pretty good money if you
Well, I
really
mean,
think about it.
yeah, you're making more than me a season,
Yeah,
right?
you're making more than a coach. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
already
So I
working.
mean,
Yeah, you know, I'm not getting paid. I'm getting
yeah.
paid pennies on the hour.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of you, brother.
Yeah, but I I mean I always encourage people to give it a try. At least give it a try, because I didn't think I'd be where I was at and I gave it a try and it's all because I gave it a try. That's kind of the perspective I always give people. Uh, it's hard to keep people in it with how the world is getting this these days. I don't think I I will say it depends on the area. I mean, some parts of the state it's harder than others. I will say my area has been pretty great. I will say a lot of coaches in my part of the state are awesome to deal with. I mean, you get a few jerks, but for the most part, people, coaches, good to deal with. Our retention's been pretty good. It's been better than what it's been, which is great. But that's the other thing that's going to have to change too is just, you know, attitude of parents, coaches, fans. Because I mean, talking down to and berating and all that stuff, it's not helping anybody involved. So, I mean, not that all of us can't take it, but we don't get paid enough to get talked to like that, and it's not good, and it's not good for the sport. So,
Dog line. Anyway, my big dog's laying right under us. Uh,
yeah,
no, I mean, a lot of times I'll have conversations with officials.
right,
I'll,
and that's perfectly okay. Yeah,
they'll, they'll walk and they'll purposely walk, and it's just like one-liners.
yeah,
I'll is it 5 o'clock yet? And they'll just give me a smirk like, shut up, too early.
yeah. But the difference, so like that's in good fun. That's okay. Like
No, I know, but I'm saying
to a point.
so
Yeah,
when they're fishing, they tend to be on our, my corner area more. And I can be like, hey, I'm just saying, watch those lock. He's locking the hands when he's back return. And
yeah, yeah,
just loud talk to them because they're kind of staying in that area of the mat
yeah, yeah, yeah.
vessel, so they can talk to him like that too. But
Right.
it, it definitely helps the way you treat people. You get more,
Yes.
you know.
Yes. Yes. And
So,
there's a way. So, like, and I always, I kind of explain this to coach because I've mentored a couple new officials past couple of years, brand new to this, right? And I've always had a conversation with the coach, you can have a conversation, you can ask him a question. That's okay. I'm not going to be upset because you ask me a question or ask, whoever I'm working with a question. That's fine. You can always ask us a question, but you're not going to sit and beat a path to the table and question everything I'm doing. We're not going to play that game. You're not going to tell me how to officiate the match. We got it. You know, there's a fine line, is what I'm saying.
it's, well, it's a weird sport. It is the most contact, most combat sport there is.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not allowed to question an official. Okay, you have to watch how you word it, and he knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You have to watch how you.
Yes.
Now you go to a football game or a basketball game. You piece of crap! They're screaming at him. I'm like, what? I don't even want to say it, but like, I want
But
to throw something at him, and just.
yeah,
But you
I
have
will
to.
say,
Anyway, what? How did you? Why did you call? You can't say like why, but like what did you see that maybe I didn't see? Why you have to like
yeah, yeah,
character.
yeah,
You can't go over their hot head or. And I found this out. I don't get thrown out. Head coach gets thrown out. Yeah.
well, it
Well,
depends. So if you get depends. If you get a coach's misconduct, that goes on the head coach. So that can be just for improperly questioning the official. That's a misconduct. It's not necessarily an unsporting act. And the first one's a warning. It's a freebie. I call it a freebie. It's a warning, but it goes on the head coach. So if you improperly, let's say Jock goes to the table and improperly questions me 3 times in a row, and I've hit 3 misconducts, guess who gets thrown out? He don't get thrown out.
Ronnie Jean's getting thrown out.
Ronnie Jean's getting thrown out
Now,
because that's how the rules wrote. Could you
now,
imagine that? Could you
no,
imagine?
how's that happen? Hey, listen, he's been disappointed in me before. He'll be all right.
He'd be like, "You're getting me thrown out, really?"
Probably go on the bus.
Um, where like if you earn an unsportsmanlike conduct, that goes on the offending individual. So if the coach is an assistant and got the unsportsmanlike, that's on him. Now he cost the team a team point, but it is on that offending individual. So if he does another unsporting act later, he's the one that's gonzo.
So like,
So it
we should change this. We should write our congressman or something. I don't like this rule. I don't know if the congressman or I don't know. Well, somebody.
Well, so like I've had a lot of coaches, a lot of head coaches think, and sportsman likes go back on them. I said no. So like I had a situation. I was doing a dual meet at Peru a couple years ago. I'm not going to name drop what school this coach was from, but he was a young assistant coach. Um, and he called me by my first name and told me something was stalling, and it was very, very loud when it was pin drop quiet in the gym when he did it.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to hit him for unsportsmanlike conduct. So I stopped the match. I hit him for unsportsmanlike conduct, took a team point, and Coach Hobbs at Peru was like, okay, I just kind of gave away the school, but it's fine. He goes, wait, is that on me? I said, no, it's on your assistant coach. You need to get him under control. So I didn't throw him out, but I still had to write a report up to the state. That's the other thing, too. Misconducts, you don't have to write them up. Unsportsmanlike, you have to write them up to IHSA, even if you don't throw them out. So I don't know
Well,
what they do with them,
yeah.
but
Well,
I know they get fought.
about wrestling and football. What's Jake been up to?
What's Jake been up to? Well, I'm engaged now, as you know. I'm sure you knew that.
Facebook official. I saw it. Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I said it's Facebook.
What?
Saw it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm engaged as of July of, well, June of last year. I'm sorry. We get married in September of 2026. So still got a little ways out to plan, but
Inside. Inside. Yeah.
in, inside,
Yeah. That's a hot month.
yeah, we're doing it's at a barn, so we can go in or we can go out depending on the weather, which is nice. So that was because we already picked our venue. So
Yeah, August will be my 6 year anniversary, and we got married indoors, but they had to shut off the AC so you could hear. And I'm up there, like I wasn't like I was obviously nervous, but like I was legit sweating. And just like I'm like trying to like while they're doing the prayers, I was like trying to like wipe my face off. Just sweat like that guy in the summertime. I'm like, bro, this is way too hot.
so
Yeah.
so were you actually doing that, or were you trying to like play it off like you weren't wiping your face and stuff?
I was definitely crying. That's what it was. They weren't. There was.
Oh, oh,
There's a joy.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, congratulations. That's big.
Thank
You still
you. Thank
on the
you.
run.
Say what now?
Don't listen.
You cut. Okay, you cut out anyway, so I couldn't even hear what you said. But
You'll see it when I put it online. You'll wasn't funny. I don't.
oh, okay.
But have you talked to Tanner Bishop lately?
I have not. I haven't heard from him a whole lot. What's he been up to?
Being a turd, I guess. Oh. I just didn't know. We were wondering. We didn't know. We couldn't remember. Did you come to Kryptonite and train like wrestling before? That's why I
Oh
said
yeah.
Because you came, because I thought he came and beat Tanner up. I thought. I could see it. Tanner's garbage.
Tanner.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it was Tanner. It was Tanner and some other smaller dude. I don't know. I can't remember that far back.
yeah. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
I know it doesn't, but it's been quite a while. I mean, not a super long while, but a while, you know.
I mean, I'm closer to 40 than I was then, so
Yeah, 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 true.
it's starting to get bad.
True. Uh
No, I mean, what else, man? Engaged. You're officiating, obviously. Good job.
uh
Yeah, yeah.
decent. I'm got a couple things lined up that's way better, but I had some my employment with the state is no longer a thing, so that happened.
Dropping.
So,
That's my
huh?
bad. That's my bad. I didn't. They need to drop the news on
Oh, oh,
man. No, man. It's good to talk to you, man. I appreciate you coming on, and I really want to try to
yeah.
get you on the if we can get you on the wrestling podcast uh,
Oh,
this
yeah. Love to. I'd
um,
love to. Yeah.
I'm sure there's some change. Is there some more changes you think coming?
I haven't heard anything. We took a survey. I think it was right around the time of semi-state. There was a survey that came out for officials. There was a lot of proposed changes that I thought were really stupid. Like they were talking about making locked hands legal and a full Nelson was okay as long as there wasn't excessive pressure. And I'm like, why? It's
No Father Nelson.
just
Yeah.
yeah. No.
Yeah, dude, that changes a lot if they were to do something like
But
that.
I'm
This
just like,
time.
okay, this isn't freestyle. Why are we wanting to do all that? I thought I was like, okay, we're doing too much.
Yeah,
There was a proposed change to up a major decision from 8 points or yeah, 8 points to 10 points or whatever,
I
or
think.
7 or 8.
But
Yeah, it
yeah.
was 7 to 10 or whatnot. I can't remember. It was
Well, I understand why we changed the rules, but it really only helps the offensive wrestlers. There is
yeah,
defensive wrestlers. I I hate that a takedown's worth three and escape's worth one. We're getting first round tech falls now. I mean, all the time. And
yeah.
I understand you're getting those matches done early, but we still gotta wait for the time for people to rest. So we can't
You
just
do, you do. Have you ran into seeing a lot more? I'm sure you ran into seeing a lot more tech falls this year because I've seen a ton more tech falls this year.
uh,
Um,
it's probably been like 80% up if you had to do like a I mean it's 10
yeah,
10. What's easy.
mm-hmm,
I had a
yeah,
kid he matched JV. I had a kid tech fall kid even though he did it.
mm-hmm,
They're just rolling around. So
yeah, yeah. Well, and I've been seeing so the other big question has been so when's the match over when a tech fall's locked in? That was a big question that came up that the state clarified. So it was always understood before if it was the same continuation, the wrestling would continue. Well, that's not what the rule book actually nuanced it out as. What I mean by nuanced it out as is how it's written. It actually is written if once they came out of criteria, the match is over. And they start telling us, hey, they come out of criteria this year when a tech fall's locked in. It's no different than when sudden victory or anything else. They get out of criteria, match is done. So I've had coaches question that quite a bit this year. They're like, wait, I thought it's the same move. I said, I understand it's the same move, but they came out of criteria. It's done. It's no different than sudden victory.
so what he means is like if you run like we'll just say a half, right?
Yeah.
Run a half and you got them on their back, but then they
Mm-hmm.
over, but you still keep the half and then you go back again. So it's
Okay.
Yeah,
stop.
it's done. It's done.
If you keep him on his back, it doesn't matter how long you got him there. It's a tech ball if you don't pin him, but you have the chance to get the six instead of five.
I got it.
But
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I had to correct an official at a JV meet, and he's there learning. It wasn't even my kids. It was a match before my kids, and I was like, Kid got a tech fall, took the kid to his back, and he stopped it. And
Oh,
I was like,
oh,
hey, no, actually, he actually tech falled my kids what it was. And I was like, hey, you got to let him continue that. So, but it's JV, and he's learning. You know,
yeah,
I think it
yeah,
was like an older coach, and everyone thinks that a coach can go to officiate. It's a little different. We officiate our wrestle offs. We're not officiating, matches in front of tons of people.
yeah,
But yeah, I had this. Yeah, he tech fouled my kid. I'm like, you got to let him go for the pin. I don't know
yeah.
why that. I shouldn't have been giving that guy any more help.
But yeah, that's been a big topic that's come up. I think that was in the survey as well. I do look for, I think they'll up the major decision. I think that'll probably get changed. And I bet you the other proposed change was upping a tech fall from 15 to 20 points. I bet you that'll change too. Say
No,
what?
that's gonna make me do a lot of math. The only other thing too is gonna be like how many kids are gonna be setting some hellacious take ball or takedown. I can't even talk takedown records now. If you do that, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
takedowns, crazy.
Um, I mean, I like it, but I don't. I will say the thing I like about the 3 point takedown is it sounds really strange because you don't usually think 3 point takedown coincides with stalling, but I've found myself now a lot of guys are getting up a lot of points and then they're hitting their foot on the brakes. And it's we're calling a lot more stalling because guys will get up big and then they just want to stall out the rest of the match.
But and it
You
doesn't
know,
as good as two. You're like,
I know.
it's not the.
Yeah, I'm starting to get used to people yelling three now, but it's
I
still
yelled 3/4. I was yelling 3/4. But I was just yelling three, three, three. Referee's like, here I got his takedown. I'm like, it's like that's not what I'm yelling. Like, I was like, I know wrestling. I'm not. We're on top, and we're in
yeah,
position. I know we have the takedown. Well,
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
we're running out of time. Unfortunately, it took me forever. Definitely need to get you back on if you would.
yeah, for sure.
Uh, coming on. So thank you again. I'll get this put on probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll tag you.
Sounds good. Sounds good, brother.
Get the like and share so I can beat up Chris later. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you.